the way out of these storms should be thoroughly discussed, and it should be a decision not of the ruling party or the prime minister or me or anyone else. This should be the decision of the whole society.
The people. No, wonderful. Look, I'm going to ask one more question to the foreign minister, then I'm going to turn it to you. So you guys can join this conversation. Please be ready with your questions. We'll bring the mic to you. But while you gather your thoughts and formulate your question, let me ask you a final question before we go to the audience. You spend your days navigating hard geopolitics. You've had tough 2-3 years when it comes to reinventing, reorganizing, resetting the neighborhood, Armenia's place in the world, in the region. How do you unwind? I really want to know. What do you do to look ahead and be positive? Do you read books, a long walk in Yerevan, or do you have a conversation with someone who disagrees? Like, how do you unwind and how do you prepare for the next day when every day is itself a crisis of a new variety in the last so many months?
Well, sometimes I had an impression that I'm living in a TV show, and every episode of which brings a new challenge, a new crisis, out of the answer. Following the source of ideas, of solutions, are the citizens of Republic of Armenia. We are in constant contact, particularly Prime Minister. We are in constant, very direct contact with our citizens. You know, I mentioned the previous parliamentary elections. At that time, having peace in our mind, or intuitively feeling, I mean, the necessity of peace, we haven't brought this word to the electoral campaign back those days, during 5 years ago. But when we started our visits to regions and meetings to the groups of citizens, there was one thing that was like in a way, it emerged from these meetings. So citizens, they were approaching us and saying, ensure peace, 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 make peace. We need peace. And it somehow, peace is not the thing that this current government suggests to Armenian society. This is a word we learned and we got the order from the society. This is
a mandate given to you by the people.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
But it clearly seems that your unwinding is spending time with the people and with your team in many ways. That is your that is your rejuvenation. I'm going to turn it over to all of you. Please do join us. We can see a hand here. Please, and we can see the lady there. Lots of hands. Do we have some mics here that we can bring to them? Is there a mic around? Yeah. Fit to the lady there on the just behind. Yeah. The lady there. Go ahead.
Yes. My name is Randa Ashmewi and I'm a journalist from Egypt. Yesterday.
Yes.
My name is Randa Ashmewi. I'm a journalist from Egypt. Yesterday you made a fascinating speech in which you described 3 steps through which one reacts to a nightmarish situation in which we have lack of peace or blatantly conflict. You spoke about first phase dissociation, just sitting, denying, it's almost what I understood to be a state of denial. and then it was starting to feel like a victim, or just to see, no, I'm surrendering, I'm just sitting here and just, not much, I hope I understood well. And then the third one was the navigating through the storms. And well, you know, coming from a complex region like Egypt, the Middle East, as you know, I'm very curious to know, I would like you to elaborate more how in practice you see this response of being able to navigate through the storm in order to walk towards peace, because peace is more than just a word. Is there a formula, a recipe? How do you get there? I mean, is it doing the right thing at the right time? Because, well, when it's, I feel like sometimes it's easier said than done. And if you've reached the formula, please let us know more about it.
Minister, can we collect a couple of more questions? Yeah. Can we bring the mic here to Malgorzata here in the front row? I'm just taking the mic around. Hi? Right here, to the front row. Thank you. Thank you so much. So from Egypt, we move to Poland. Go ahead.
Thank you, Samir. Małgorzata Bonikowska, Poland, a think tank, professor at Warsaw University, but also member of a group of advisors, Team Europe, to the European Commission. When you were talking about Armenia, I was just feeling like exactly the same talk is happening in Europe now, about this balancing, about this strategic autonomy, etc. So you are like a little Europe for us, I think. That's number one. But number two, I want to ask you about much global perspective, because you are one of these countries who joined Board of Peace of Mr. Trump. We are very hesitant to these kind of ideas, and we have United Nations and other multilateral organizations. What is your view as a small country in all this midst of conflicts? You are, by the way, one of the very few who talks about peace. Everybody else talks about wars. So congratulations. But to have peace.
You should have come to Armenia several years ago. So.
No, you should have come to Poland 100 years ago. That would be the same thing. But how to provide peace globally, and how to handle the global world order, having global organizations
I think that's
such as UN.
Fair question. The question is that smaller countries tended to like the UN more, multilateralism more. And I think that's the question, that when smaller countries opt for Board of Peace, is it in contradiction to the multilateral architecture, or is it in support of multilateral? I think that's a question. Okay, there's a hand right behind you, Malgorzata. We can give the mic there. And then we'll come back to the central row here.
Poland once again. Wojciech Wojtasiewicz, Polish Institute of International Affairs. I would like to ask you about the peace process and about the main obstacle or challenge on the path to peace with Azerbaijan. As far as I know, Azerbaijan demands the changing of your constitutions, and how are you going to overcome that obstacle, because highly probably will not be able to obtain the constitutional majority in the next parliament. So my question, thank you.
Can we take one question from the lady in the middle, right here? No, right here in the fifth row. No, behind. Right behind you. Can you see that? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. On the fifth row. This is the last question we'll take, sir. Then I'll turn to you. We have 4 questions there.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for giving me the floor. So I'm Fabienne Bossuet. I'm a professor of political science and international relations at Ghent University in Belgium. So my question is in relation to the Armenian aspirations to one day be able to join European Union. And I was just wondering what kind of European Union you want to join. Is it more the kind of European Union that people like Viktor Orban have in mind, because he has been very critical of the European Union. He doesn't like that notion of liberal democracy that the European Union stands for, and also the very liberal values that it represents. He sees more future for the European Union in terms of conservative values, Christian values, and so I wonder what kind of European Union the Armenia has in mind when it wants to join the European Union. Thank you.
I'll turn it back to you, Minister, with one added question from my side. You know, what you have been doing in this region for the last 5 years, as you mentioned, is actually a case study. Many of us can learn about building peace from you. I think that was the first question from our Egyptian colleague. I hope you are creating a chronicle of everything you're doing so that we can then share it with different parts of the world. I hope, and that's just a question for you. In a sense, are we sharing each other's experiences around peace? Do you think it's time now to wage peace rather than wage war? Do you think we need to create a more organized manner in which we can share our own individual experiences on building peace in our respective regions? I think that's just a question for you.
So thank you so much for your words, but I think you're too kind to me. In my humble opinion, yesterday I was only trying to outline or to summarize what is evident for everyone. The ideas that I tried to express there were you know, simple solutions, but this is probably what I was trying to say. Sometimes the simple solutions are very hard to detect and to identify. Why, I really don't know. Probably this is the nature of human mind, the nature of human psychology. But nevertheless, so you said that peace is, I mean, you asked whether peace is the recipe. Probably yes, peace is the recipe. Peace is the solution. Peace is the best condition when and where mankind can live, can create, can cooperate and be happy. Unfortunately, this very simple understanding is not simple solution, and simple condition is not necessarily being implemented and has not been implemented throughout the history in every corner of this planet. Maybe this is a utopia, I really don't know, but this is very simple at least to understand. Peace, cooperation, harmony with one another, with the nature, with the planet, but look what we are doing with the climate. It's not harmony with the planet, right? So I really don't know. This is a question that should be asked to a much smarter person than me, but I don't know why we are making these mistakes repeatedly and then again and again. I don't know. I really don't know why we continuously kill each other. But obviously, peace is the condition where we can live, at least, moreover, live or try to live in happiness and joy. But really easy to say, as you formulated it. But sometimes in history, in some regions, we have had leadership and courage to understand deeply the situation, to understand deeply the prospects and to act. So probably understanding and action, proper action, vision and action. And interestingly, this very simple conclusion was not our first choice, and this is also what I yesterday was trying to say. We tried to live in our bubble for several decades, thinking that the crisis we will avoid facing the crisis. Then, when the crisis hit us, when the storms struck us, we tried to act as we were predicted to act. Mm-hmm. And then at some point we understood that this is a way to nowhere. This is a way to complete death when it comes to Republic of Armenia, our statehood, our sovereignty. And then we tried to act in a different way to establish peace and to be open for the region and for the world as well. So I don't know. I was saying this to say that I don't know the answer to your question. I'm so sorry about it. You should find a smarter person to understand the real answer. Europe, yes, indeed, it's been a source of the history of Europe is a very rich and strong lesson. The nations who are now members of the European Union they have had their own wars in not that far past. And then you also understood that it's better to cooperate, it's better to, and it's easier and it's more beneficial to live in peace and cooperation. So we have a lot to learn from you, and basically this is what we are trying to do now. But you also, and back then, at some point after the Second World War, we all established the United Nations. We have the Charter, we have some other multilateral institutions, but you know, we should, of course, remain and we should stick to the regulations that we already have in international relations, the rules, all the charters, all the international law, but also history is developing. And the new situations bring new necessities, and also new situations show the gaps that are being created throughout history. So nothing is eternal, no institution is eternal. And I believe that the United Nations and Security Council has still mission to do. It should remain, it should be there, and all the other institutions and organizations as well. But there was a necessity to have something else, and here is where a Board of Peace was created. President Trump expressed a willingness and leadership and readiness to invest his time and energy and the whole reputation that the United States have to establish peace in some regions. In our case, I know that there are different interpretations of implementation of peace in this context, but in our case, see, it works. We do have peace here, and we are very much interested to exporting this model to other regions as well, if we can. If we can be helpful in this way, why not? So, yeah, you spoke about also about the peace process or finalization of peace process between Armenia and Azerbaijan, and you spoke about our constitution. You said that Azerbaijan demands. I would say that there is no such a demand. I would say that in the sense that there is no such a condition, such a demand in the process of negotiations. There is no topic of constitution of Armenia on bilateral agenda of Armenia and Azerbaijani negotiations. But yes, this is their perception. This is what they say. They say, at least this is what I have been hearing continuously, that they are not ready to sign and ratify the peace treaty which we initialed if we do not change the constitution. But we believe the Constitution of Republic of Armenia is the internal issue, internal matter of Republic of Armenia. We will be having most probably a referendum on our constitution, but we are not discussing this issue with international partners.
What kind of
what
EU?
kind of EU we see? We see, and what kind of EU we want to be in. Yeah. A family of nations where rights of everyone are respected, where differences are tolerated, where the sovereignties are respected, but also there is huge space for cooperation, that where the decisions are being made which are being beneficial for every participant, regardless of size of the nation or size of the country. This is probably the shortest possible answer to your question.
No, I think that's a wonderful way to conclude this conversation with Minister Ararat. This